Hey everyone, Overfletch here, and today I am bringing back the Fletch Rambles Series. I actually realized really recently I had not made a video in a very, very long time, and I was like, wow, really? I hadn't made it this long, but there's things been going on. So, anyways, we are back with the Fletch Rambles Series. A lot of you guys might not know what the series is. There have been a ton of people in the past 2 months, because it's been almost 2 months, I think. I think the last video was about 2 months ago. Anyways, there's been a ton of new subscribers, so a lot of you guys might not know what the series is. This is my Ramble series, where basically you guys sit back, watch, or not watch, you guys listen while you escape or something like that, and I usually discuss RuneScape updates or updates about my channel, things like that. Maybe like, I don't know, real life stuff. Mostly just RuneScape, and it's usually RuneScape 3. I don't try to do anything else, but maybe in the future could change. So, today, probably the title is most likely going to be just Bounty Hunter, because it's a very, very hot topic right now, and I definitely want to, quote-unquote, bring back the series with that. And yeah, let's go ahead and just get on the ball rolling. So, actually, let me speak about the other update for Monday. So, for those of you unaware, there were two big updates. You know, there's some patch notes, all that stuff. You know, that happens, whatever. What I want to talk about mostly is the two main updates: one, Bounty Hunter, and two, the elite skilling outfits. So, for those of you unaware, you can now get the elite skilling outfits from training in game. You can get right now, as of this moment, you can get the rune crafting one called the Rune Ethereal, and the mining one, which is the Golem outfit. You can get those two from skilling. You have to have level 70 mining or 70 rune crafting to collect fragments, and then to create the outfit pieces you need either 80 mining and 20 invention for the mining pet, or no, not, sorry, the outfit, and then you need 80 rune crafting and 21 invention for the rune crafting outfits. And by the way, if you're just curious, I actually have myself so far, oh, that's the wrong button, let me look right here, 1022 fragments for the Golem outfit, and I actually want to wear at the moment how many you need. I will actually look this up while I'm talking, but we'll discuss it in a bit. Oh my god, wrong button. M7 fragment. Okay, so I just looked it up, and apparently it costs about 54,000 of these fragments to make the entire full set, and you can get approximately 90 to 100 fragments every 5 minutes, with a rare chance of receiving an additional 3,600 fragments when one is gained. Also, your levels do factor into this. So at level 100, 100% more fragments will drop. At virtual level 120, so once you get the Master Cape, you'll get 200% more fragments. And at max XP, you will get 300% more fragments. So the pieces go to your, what's it called, the currency pouch. And all you do is just, I believe you just take them out and then just, I honestly don't know. I think you just combine them. I think you just get them and combine them. I'm actually about a third of the way to the first ever piece. I don't know if I'll be making all the outfits. Maybe I will make the entire set. Who knows? I have to get some more simple parts, so might be doing that. Like I said, you do have to unlock an invention to make them. But the nice thing is, you don't have to unlock invention to at least gather the fragments. And that's a very good update. And it seems pretty balanced. It seems like, you know, it gets very attainable in game, and these should have been in the game as a first part. But I do like how they're compromising with microtransactions and giving ourselves a little, you know, the in-between. It's not just, you know, it's not black and white. It's not, these things are game updates, these things aren't. It's, you know, it's a good mix. So it's a gray area, basically. We merged, but I am happy to see that. If you guys know, I am not a very big supporter sometimes of microtransactions. Not the microtransactions in particular. It's just the ones that Jagex does. A lot of them I don't like. Some of them I really like the Solomon's cosmetic stuff. Cosmetic stuff I will never be upset about. But there's a few things I personally don't like. But you know, that's my opinion. But like I said, this one I like. I like how you get early access microtransactions. I don't have a problem with that. But I do like how it eventually comes to the game. I believe they said and their Reddit thread is going to be 4 months. They might have changed that, or I might be wrong, but I believe it's 4 months. They said it'll come to the game, and then we'll be getting the other outfits later. These are more the test outfits. I'm feeling that they didn't want to put all of the elite skilling outfits at once, and then we say like, oh, Jagex, you didn't scale everything properly, and then I'd have to fix every outfit. But with only 2 outfits, everyone seems comfortable with it so far. Everybody so far seems like it's a good update. So they'll probably keep it exactly how it is right now. And yeah, like I said, I think it's a good update. So other than that, we'll definitely be talking about bounty hunters. So for those of you unaware, if you guys don't really know, you probably do. I am not really a PvP guy. A lot of people in RuneScape 3 really are not, and I am no like difference. I really don't care for it. I like skilling. I like combat. I don't really like combat against players. I don't mind the old school style of combat as much. Like I still don't really love it, but it's fun to mess around. But like a non-def, but I wouldn't go actively out PKing. But that's just my take on it. I've never really enjoyed it. That being said, though, when they announced Bounty Hunter and the Deathmatch, the other PvP like minigame they released, I wasn't really excited for either one of them, but I did like how they said basically that if neither of these did well, they would realize, they said they would assess their situation and see what they did about PvP updates in general. One thing about Bounty Hunter is I believe it was delayed like 2 or 3 times. I don't remember which one. It was delayed a few times, and the reason about that was they were trying to get them things right. So think about it. If you're a person that wanted Bounty Hunter and you saw it get it delayed, like I believe I said 2 or 3 times, you're gonna have high hopes that they did everything properly. There's no reason to delay an update if it's going to be bad already. That being said, it seems like it should have honestly been delayed more. Like, I don't feel like they did everything they should have. Because they said that they would be making sure that people can't, like, what is it? Boost stuff for stuff and a lot of that stuff. They said that a lot of anti-farm mechanics would do. But it's not really... It's not that good. So I tried a little bit of Bounty Hunter. I won't be putting my next video because I'm not going to be doing anything there. But the first thing I realized, and I know a lot of people have this problem, is at the very minimum, getting a target takes way too long. It took me about 5 to 10 minutes to get one target. It took me about 5 to 10 minutes to get one target. It took way too long. So that's one thing about it. And then when I found my target, the only thing that also sucks, this is more of an Ironman problem, but this is more of a first world problem that I really can't use my tier 90s out in the wilderness because 2 of them have dyes on them. I'm not going to lose my dyes, and I'm not going to lose weapons I spent almost like 100 hours on on my account. And before someone says, but Overfletch, you can just use to protect items, you silly willy. There was actually a bug. I don't know if it's got hot fixed or not. I don't know right now. But I know there was a bug how using your quick presets, having the protect item on, it would not actually turn on. So I know people that actually lost valuable items because of this in the Bounty Hunter update. I am unsure if this was only in Bounty Hunter worlds or also regular worlds, but that is pretty significant. So if I would have unknowingly brought one of my Nox staffs, I could have most likely lost it because I'm pretty bad at PKing. So the opponent I had a tier 90. I brought a crystal bow because, there's nothing really in my bank I want to really lose. I could have probably used a whip and enhanced Excalibur. But then, my offhand Excalibur, I think, has some perks on it. I don't want to lose the perks. And it's a lot of inconvenience, honestly. But it's funny, I was using a tier 70 and the person was using a tier 90 got upset because I was using protection prayers. It's like, you have a tier 90 Noxious Scythe that easily outclasses my black D-hide because I was too lazy to make royal. I'm like, you easily outclass me. Why are you upset about using protection prayers when you easily outclass me? But I don't know. My opinion, I don't know. I don't really care for Bounty Hunter, and also all the wrong things they did, boosting. Although apparently they did fix the boosting a little bit. So for those of you unaware, you can actually boost. Well, right now you really can't as much. People will probably find a workaround, but you could not boost Bounty Hunter kills, or you could. Sorry, what people would do is they would get a target and tell the target, "Hey, I will give you give you a couple mil cash if you die to me," and the person ranks up to their emblem. And let me back up a tiny bit. Speaking of emblems, what they do is kind of like the old school RuneScape system where you every time you kill a person, you get a new tier, your emblem, like you have a bounty under emblem, and then it ranks up. Although it's not 100% every time it will rank up. A very bad problem about the tiers is that it's not worth cashing in the emblem unless it's really ranked 10, in my opinion. Like, say for example, a tier 1 emblem is only 10 points, a tier 10 is 40,000, a tier 6 is only 1,000. You'd have to get 40 tier 6s or one tier 10. Like, to me it feels it's just not rewarding at all unless you use a tier 10 emblem. So even the tier 9 is only 15,000. And to give you because you might not know what is worth something. Say for example, you would need two tier 9 emblems to get one of the tier 87 weapons they added in, and we will discuss tier 87 weapons really soon. But there's the Amulet of Forsaken, which is kind of like the Amulet of the Damned from old school. Kind of like it, but I'm unsure about that part. I do know with the Amulet Forsaken, speaking of, it costs 2,000 bounty hunter points. So what you could use I think 2 tier 6s. 2 tier 6s or 1 tier 7 if you just want the Amulet of Forsaken, which as a lower account, if you can get into fights and actually get a tier 7, the Amulet of Forsaken might not be that bad of an amulet for you. It has pretty good stats for that tier, so that's not a bad idea for like an Ironman. Or even a main account, honestly, that just wants to use that amulet, wants to actually go get it for themselves. So speaking about the Amulet of Forsaken, what it does, it has a base stat of 36. So to give you guys an example, I believe the Dragon Rider necklace has like 36 as well. I might be unsure about that. But what it does is wearing the Amulet of Forsaken improves the set effects of the 6 original Barrows equipment sets. I'm not going to really go into detail of each one of them. I might leave a link of the Amulet of Forsaken in the description, but if not, just go to RuneScape Wikia, type in Amulet of Forsaken, you'll see it. And actually, wow, I'm actually wrong. The Dragon Rider Amulet only has base 30 in all stats. The Amulet Fury T has 34, so this amulet outclasses both of those, and it has 3 prayer bonus, which the Dragon Rider Amulet has 10. So if you want prayer bonus, you probably want the Dragon Rider Amulet more, but I don't know. I feel like that's actually not a bad amulet. I actually kind of want one, to be honest. Although of course I would be using my Reaper necklace and stuff like that for high level PVM. I almost want this one for a Slayer amulet. It doesn't look that bad. But anyways, getting a little over myself. Another thing you can buy, by the way, is the large rune pouch, and this thing is, you can equip it to your ammo slot, which is nice, very very nice. It saves an ammo. It saves a couple inventory slots because it can hold up to 3 types of runes, which is very very cool. And like I said, equipable ammo slot, so you can wear it if you're using magic, which is pretty cool. So you can put 3 types of runes in it, and I think like I don't know if you can stack the large and a small rune pouch, because if you don't know, you can actually get a small rune pouch from the deathmatch. And they also finally made it where the small rune pouch actually doesn't degrade on death, or you don't lose it. So you actually keep it, which is actually useful now. I'm getting a little over myself. So that's 4,000 points. Like I said, and a tier 8 would get you a large rune pouch. And also at 4,000 is the Ancient Warriors equipment patch, which increases the the Revenant armors and weapons to tier 88. The patch itself is tradable, by the way, if you're a main account, and the gear is not. So if you're gonna try, say if you want the speaking of this stuff, this now made a new best in slot for Corp. The spear, Vesta Spear, is now actually tier 88. So it is actually better than a Mizuyari, which came out only this year, which is pretty weird. In a few months, you would already outclass something that's very, very niche, But I feel like that's more of an oversight. They didn't even honestly think about it. I honestly think they just didn't even realize, or maybe the reasoning is that since it's a little bit rarer, and also it makes the spear untradeable. So like, say if a main account has a lot of money, maybe this thing does cost a lot of money. The reasoning on a main account might be, or for them is that someone would have to make a spear that is untradeable and they cannot sell back. And I guess I can understand that a little bit. And tier 88 isn't something really to get you super excited. Although it kind of makes me kind of want to do some Revenant camping. Speaking of Revenants, if you guys are really curious, I actually have myself a Stadius full helm, Azuriel's hood. I have both of those from when I was getting Chaos Elemental kill count. I got both of those when I was getting my Chaos Elemental pet. That being said, it almost makes me want to go back there and see what I can do there. Maybe get something cool. But we're getting a little bit ahead of myself. They also added something which I really find is a little not useful, is like it's not needed, is the adrenaline crystals, which make what's it called? They make like super adrenaline potions. And these super adrenaline potions increase the adrenaline potion from 25% adrenaline to 30% adrenaline. And I believe when I heard people discussing these new adrenaline potions, they're basically useless because they don't allow you to get off any more thresholds with everything else, with all the other boosts. But I may be wrong, but it seems like it is pretty useless. Especially since it takes 1,000 points to make 10. Especially for an Ironman, it seems very pointless to ever get these, so I don't really see the point behind those. They also added these things called Wilderness Hilts on 2,000 bounty hunt points, which upgrades Dragon Daggers, Dragon Claws, Dragon Longsword, Dragon Mace, and Dragon Scimitars to tier 70, and I don't understand the point of that either. Maybe just for a spec weapon for Legacy PKing, but other than that, I don't really understand. Think about that. We talked about the Amulet Forsaken. There was also a Revenant pet, which is 4,000 points. I'm not going to really discuss that because I don't really know what it looks like. Actually, I think I actually did see it, but it's just a pet. It doesn't really matter to me. Well, the final thing we'll be discussing is for rewards is the 30,000 points. So you need a tier 10 emblem, or you need 2 tier 9s, the Crucible weapons. These are tier 87 weapons that are set to unlock from Bounty Hunter, and these things were getting boosted upon boosted the day of release, which was yesterday. And I know many Ironmen that were actually boosting to get these weapons because it took significantly less time and less effort than all the other like alternatives like tier 85s, tier 90s, tier 80s on Ironman. And people were just paying for money on their other accounts and just getting their Ironman boosted basically. But speaking of, I don't see a confirmed source on this, that apparently tier 87s were all refunded on Ironman and they're actually no longer available. So if you gain the points, you got the points back, but you don't get the weapon. So if that's true, like I said, I'll try to find, if there's a source, I will post that in the description. But if that's true, I'm actually very excited about that. I'm very glad because those things are very dumb on an Ironman. To me, it doesn't make sense that if, having a tier 87 that takes maybe a couple hours versus say for example, a tier 85 spear from the Ark that takes, for example, 5,000 chimes, which is maybe 2 to 5 hours, depends. 5 hours of AFK basically, maybe 2.5 of like doing your daily like island. I think it's 2,000 points an hour. I don't remember, but I know you can get at least 1,000 chimes an hour. And then this RNG drop from art hats, and if you know me, it took me 30 hours. So, mine took about 35 hours. Although a reasonable person can probably get that spear in about, say, probably 7 to 10 hours, maybe 15 at the most. So it's just kind of weird that like a better weapon and all 3 stat types could only take a few hours, but apparently they also disabled trading very recently on Bounty Hunter Worlds. I actually saw someone post on Reddit saying that, is Bounty Hunter broken? I can't trade anymore. What's happening? And people are like, no, you dummy. They're trying to fix boosting. Stop boosting. So I really am liking that they decided to fix that. It definitely needed a fix. Definitely needed some looking into. But other than that, it's just like, I don't know, it seems like with all the time they had prep for Bounty Hunter, I feel like they just didn't properly get ready for Bounty Hunter. And it seems like they're putting some fixes in now, but at the same time, I don't know. It's Like a lot of times the first impression is the only impression. It's kind of like why like a lot of people like old school players that tried out like EOC combat during the beta heavily despise it, even though it's been about I think 4 year anniversary is next month, but yeah, it's been a couple of years. Yeah, I think it was 2012. Yeah, it was 2012. So it's been a couple of years, and it's very very well polished compared to then, and a lot more abilities, a lot more balance, and all that stuff. But a lot of them would never try it because of that first impression and how much they despised it. Also, probably because of some other points of the game. But I'm only referring to the combat right here. Like I said, first impression means a lot. Like if you tell some, like if you go to a job application and you're wearing, you're wearing a lot like stuff that's just not proper, and you give off that wrong vibe, you could come in the next day being very business professional and have the best interview ever. You already gave a bad impression. It doesn't help you. So I don't think that's. I guess it's kind of like that. Like a lot of people have that first taste of bounty hunter, and I think it's really gonna hurt bounty hunter's survival as a thing. So overall, my opinion, I would call this update not really a failure, 100% a failure. They can fix it, but I feel like honestly a after release with all the delays is just gonna make people despise PvP and artistry much more. So with also another thing, I think there was one more thing I wanted to talk about with bounty hunter. I'm unsure right now. Like I said, there was like a few things about like I said people were boosting. I already discussed that. But there was one more somewhere. Like I said, oh yeah. I didn't discuss this, but so another workaround for the bounty hunter thing. Like I said, trading's not allowed, but I just said allowed. But if you hop worlds on bounty hunter, like maybe you're trying to go pay somebody off world and then come back on. If you do that, what will happen is that you lose your target, so you can't just get your target, hop to another world, pay the money, and come back. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, I don't really. I really don't see Bounty Hunter doing well, just because, like I said, I think the community has already spoken how they feel about it. So I just don't see it doing well. That's my opinion about it. So a little wrap up about Bounty Hunter. Just my little things, my little thoughts that they need to do, or hopefully they can do, to make this update a little bit better. One, continue to fight the people boosting. There'll probably be new methods coming up soon. I really hope they pay attention and make sure those are gone. And it seems like they're trying to do that. That's the first thing. Number two, they really need to. I don't know. There's some type of fix. So like when you're trying to find somebody, it doesn't take 5 or 10 minutes. It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't work. Another thing is like keep looking at how Ironman do it. I don't. It's just weird. I don't know. I really don't know how to balance it for Ironman, honestly. I mean, I know. Like I said, I heard the weapons are disabled. I could probably go look right now during this ramble, but if they are, that's really good. I'm trying to think. I just really know that the rewards are really overpowered, so I don't really. I think it's seen as a good update. Well, like I said. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about the skilling outfits. Nah, I mean I already talked about it, but I was gonna talk more about them. Oh yeah, and one more thing I did want to talk about. Also, by the way, this is the Bounty Hunter world, and this is what the queue looks like if you're really curious, if you have not gone on here yet. But one more thing I want to discuss, like one more fix, is that they need to do, I guess people are already boosting still. Yep, there's still people boosting, or trying to boost, that's funny. But, let's see if we can buy it, by the way. Hold on. You cannot afford this item, okay, I didn't know if it was gonna give me an option like you cannot buy this. So, this is interesting. I wonder if there's a lot of people here that are at the border. I remember last time I came here, there was just only people, sitting here at the border. It's just kind of a weird thing, a PvP update. There's just people not in the wilderness. Like, yeah, I see people boosting still. I just don't see the problems being fixed. It just seems like it's just not fixed, honestly. Although I do see a little bit more PvP over here. Yeah, so I hope this update does well. But like I said, I just don't see it doing well. I don't know. I just feel like it's just not gonna do. Wait. Okay, I thought that was a new item. It's not. And speaking of, just because I can, by the way, if anyone's curious, oh, I wonder if I can just randomly teleport. That'd be funny. I think I heard that you actually could do something like that, but like I said, my initial impressions of a bounty hunter are pretty low. Actually lower than I even thought. Like I said, I hope it does get better. For the time being, it's not going to be an update I really endorse and enjoy. I'm more looking forward to the Children of Ma, which is next Monday, I believe. Maybe the Monday after that. Wait, I'm excited for that update to come out, honestly. Speaking of, like I said, I'll definitely be doing that quest on release. Maybe I can get something fun. Maybe I won't. I don't know. And guys, since we're severing down in this ramble, it's gonna be a little bit shorter than some of the other ones. I feel. I don't know. I have no clue about that. It might be. But like I said, I haven't done a ramble in a while. I have enjoyed this one. Gonna definitely be doing some more. And speaking of, this is a little bit mini. I just wanted to go ahead and discuss this. Is actually I will be like out of town basically the next week, following week. Much is Thanksgiving holiday, so I believe it. I believe next weekend is that. Maybe it's the weekend after. I don't. No, Is it next week? Honestly, I'm unsure right now. Wow. No. It has to be this week. It has to be this next week. Regardless, whatever. On Thanksgiving, like Thanksgiving break, I'm gonna be away. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. Okay, yeah. I'm not dumb. I'm not done this next weekend. But yeah, I'll be away during Thanksgiving holiday, and I don't know if I'll even be playing much during the week. I will be putting some videos out for you guys. I'm probably gonna put out 2 rambles. I have an idea, some other videos I want to put out, but like I said, if there's any like if there's something like oh, why isn't there an Ironman completion series for like over a week? It's because I'm out of town, or I'm on holiday basically. So if you guys hear, I might make a little small video telling you guys about it. I might not. I don't really know. Yeah, guys, if there's anything you guys want me to talk about in these rambles, because like I said, I know that there are probably some new people. If there's anything RuneScape related, anything about me, go ahead and let me know in the comments, or maybe some other topic you guys want me to discuss. Probably will make another one really soon about the next Q&A that'll probably happen. Actually, it seems like it's about to happen in about 10 minutes, so we're gonna go listen to that while I edit this and give it back to you guys. But I believe that might be doing it for today. Although, like I said, I do want to thank you guys, by the way. You guys have been destroying like my thumb. How I thought I'd be doing on YouTube. Like, it's just I feel like my channel's been doing very well recently. I really thank a lot of you guys for that. And yeah, I honestly don't know what to say. Yeah, I like I said, I hope you guys are excited for the revival, quote unquote revival of the Fletch Rambles. I enjoy them. I know they don't get as many views as some of my other content, although maybe with the new episode, maybe you guys can appreciate them. And they're fun for me to make, and they don't really take any time out of my day, since it's just me kind of AFKing, doing some skilling that I probably would have done anyways. So, and I always inform myself on updates, although to be fair, Bounty Hunter Deathmatch, I did not inform myself on that much, solely because I don't really care as much about the updates, so I didn't really care what happened to them. But that's my opinion on that. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Like I said, if there's anything else you guys want me to discuss, or any type of video you guys ever want me to discuss, let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely just look at that. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys at the Ramble pretty soon. And also, if you are new to the Rambles, make sure you check out some of the other ones, a little bit older. They don't have the beautiful mic, so if you guys, just go check them out, maybe see how I like to do them. Like I said, I do like to do the Q&As, discussions, all that stuff. And I do have some nice projects I am working on my channel that should be with you guys pretty soon. I hope you guys enjoy all of that stuff. But like I said, thank you for listening or watching, whatever you want to do. And I will catch you guys pretty soon. Take care, everyone.